Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Tactical Tuesday. Tonight's topic is apartment prepping, and we're going to be talking about prepping while living in an apartment, not prepping an apartment for someone to live in, but prepping, doing your prepping and preparing while you live in an apartment. All righty. We've got a special guest with us. We got Kaylin Strain here. If any of my mods out there could please do me a favor, please put Kaylin's channel link into the chat. Because in case anybody here is not subscribed to her, people, you need to go subscribe to her. She does great reviews on MREs, and she's been doing this cool little balcony garden. I really love what she harvested and stuff from it. All righty. So let me say hello to everybody that's in the side chat. First one in today was Courtney, Wide Family Farm. Jay was in next. Uncle Al hopped in there. CB at Hygge Homestead. That means fun in Danish. Backwoods Law. Mouse Toes is there. Everybody's chit-chatting, scrolling down. Tasha prepped for it. Dave will be up here with us in a little bit. He's putting Charles down.
Froze.
And I froze. Yeah, you don't need to tell me, Al. I know. I can see. I go here on the screen. And I just totally disappear on the screen, so that's how I know I froze when I'm looking at it.
Thank you, Courtney.
Idaho Garden Girl is here. Hey, welcome. Ginger Ninja, Shady Hill Homestead. Catching up. Garden State Gardeners in the house, folks.
Hi, Joe.
And scrolling down, make sure I don't miss it. Aiden is here.
Yep.
P2E, formerly known as Prepping to Endure. Yeah. Let's see who else is in here before I get too tongue-tied. Everyone's talking. Emma 3010's here. And Homesteading Idaho. Tongue-tied tonight, folks. Homesteading in Idaho with Audra. And am I caught up here? I am caught up. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. It's the stream's going so fast. Everyone's talking to each other, which is great. You're all talking to each other. Yeah. When I look over to this side here, I got YouTube on this monitor over here, and this is where I'm typing comments in. Over here is where I got the slideshow, so I got three monitors to look at. So if I'm looking away, it's not because I'm distracted with ADHD, whatever it is.
That's attention deficiency order.
All right, good. Courtney put up Kaylin's channel up there, folks. If you haven't subscribed to Kaylin, seriously, go over there, open a separate tab for it, subscribe, like, whatever, and then watch a couple of her videos. She's got some great stuff. All right, so a little bit of history on this one first. A little bit of history has to do with Dave and Kaylin and Tasha of Mama Bear Prepping. When I was first put this on my list to do this one, Dave was still living in an apartment. And so all three of these great people live in apartments, or Dave did. He now lives in a house. And there's a whole nother aspect to apartment prepping than those that have a home or acreage on a homestead. You can't do this in an apartment. Can you, Kaylin? You can't do this thing back, all big supplies like that. So we're going to be talking about the things you can do and can't do. And I'm going to run a little slideshow here, and I'm going to bring out and explain a little bit more than what I did in my announcement earlier today. It's basically the same pictures, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So let's shift over here. And so apartment prepping is basically, one of the things it is talk about prepping in small or confined spaces.
I swear I'm going to get rid of the neighbor's cat.
Some apartments have really small bedrooms. Some have small kitchens. I've seen some with some really tiny closets. I actually saw an apartment once when I was on a church mission. We didn't have a closet. We had a rod hanging up from 2 hooks on the ceiling, and we just hung our clothes on that. Some have really small spaces to work with. Only one apartment I've ever been with had a laundry room. Everyone else, we had to either go to a laundromat or they had a laundry downstairs, which was like an in-house laundromat. But none of the individual apartments had laundry. Most of the ones I've ever seen have outdoor parking, unless you're in a big city, and then it's a garage parking, but it's not private garage. It's it's like in a business building. Just about all of them have small cabinet space. Most of them, they were just starting to put in these cages in apartment buildings where you could rent a storage unit downstairs to store extra stuff, or it came with your rent where you could store stuff that you couldn't fit in your apartment. But most of them don't have that. So what are you going to do if you want to prep and you don't have what a lot of people consider is you don't have room to put all the stuff? So let's drop back here. And I did just out of being up front, when I was living in apartments, I was on a church mission, froze, going from place to place. And so I wasn't prepping. I was there, preaching the gospel. And then I returned home, and I've been spoiled my life. My parents have always owned or rented a full-size house. We were never in an apartment. So when it comes to prepping an apartment, I'm at a loss. I can think back to my times when I was living in an apartment, the small spaces and stuff. But I never actually had to plan around it. So I'm not a subject matter expert on this. And so anyone in the side chat, if you've been in an apartment and tried prepping, your comments are going to help out. And so, Kaylin, what is the biggest problem you've seen for you trying to prep in an apartment?
I just lost your audio.
Okay. I heard you say you lost your audio.
No, I lost yours for a second.
Okay. For a second, yeah. Internet.
And you're very sticky to me. I don't know if my earbuds or what, but anyway. I have an extra problem that some people who live in apartments may not have, but others do share, is that I don't drive. So I cannot go out to Sam's Club, which I do have a membership to, or any place where I can buy huge things that weigh 50 pounds. I can't do that. So I get small quantities, and I get a variety. As you look at my channel, you see my shopping hauls of small items that say, this coffee can, I put salt in. So I have it as labeled salt. So I don't get huge containers, but I have been gifted buckets. So I just stack the buckets everywhere. And I just pulled a couple of these ice cream buckets that I liberated last when we had to clear out stuff, or they were not being used anymore. So I took them.
Right.
And I use those for storage of small items. And when I bag stuff in I only use gallon or smaller, because I have a variety of things. Like I have a variety of rices, or I have a variety of beans, or I have a variety of pastas or whatever.
Yeah, I guess your internet's causing
things
problems.
like that. And I just stash every nook and cranny.
It sounds like your internet's causing everyone's saying you're really choppy, and I'm noticing that here too.
Yeah.
It's you.
Your
Go ahead.
your
Kim.
audio to me is choppy.
Yeah, you're it's if you speak a
your audio
little
to me is choppy.
little slower, it might catch up, up with, because you get a little like that. So if you try speaking a little bit slower, pause a little bit between words and stuff. But I get what you're saying there. You don't drive. You're you when you go on your shopping, you have to get small amounts because you got to carry it back, and you're combining things like in the salt and stuff like that. I've seen some of your videos on your shopping hauls, and you are getting, they're not huge ones like people bring in. You're limited with your transportation. One of the comments pointed here in the chat, Jay said when his grandfather, or was it back here, his grandfather stopped driving, he got a 3-wheel bicycle. You don't have a place where you can store a bicycle, do you?
I think it got stolen last time, right, Kaylin?
I had a trike outside. It got stolen.
Yeah.
Then I had another one inside with 5 or 6 locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter had her bike stolen twice.
Assembled and
yeah. All right. How are you storing water, or are you storing?
I just grabbed a couple of examples of how I store water.
Okay.
That just represents the various sizes of containers, some smaller, some larger.
Okay. So you don't have to answer this.
Spread them around.
Okay. You don't have to answer this question, because I preach prepping in private, not to give away all your secrets. But about how much food do you think you've been able to store?
I probably have about a year.
Okay. So it is possible to do at least 6 months in an apartment.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know when my daughter, when she was going to Rick's College, well, it's no longer called Rick's, it's now called BYU Idaho. She was in the smallest little cramped apartment right after she got married. It was the two of them, and they were squeezed in there. And when we visited, it was like, I showed up. It's like, okay, we're staying in a motel. There was no room for us. And they were not, they didn't even have enough. They had their stuff piled in boxes around, stepping over stuff, as it was such a small apartment. And college students have a tough time just making their ends meet anyways. But especially newlywed college students in apartments, they usually wind up getting the smallest. I don't know what else to call it. I was going to call it a rat hole, but smallest little thing you can get out there until they can get money saved up. But while they're in college, they really can't. But those of you out there that are in apartments, there are things to do. I know some people, it's on budget is a big problem. Like Kaylin doesn't have a car. Some people that do have cars that are in apartments are able to haul more stuff, but still, it's that the monthly expense of what they can and can't get. All right, we just had a couple more people drop in here. Hey, yep. Matthew, and we got Matthew Malloy, and then Klingon Princess came in. And CR, Creative Redundancy from north of the border, Albany Mountain Homestead, have come to join us. Hey guys. And if anybody else slipped in that I didn't catch, Carol's here, A Fishes and Loaves Life. Gardner Josh came in too. All right,
I
guys.
think Belinda.
I got prep studying with Belinda. Okay. I think she was in here. Was she in earlier or not? I'm not sure. What do you think is probably your best advantage for being in an apartment, Kaylin?
Well, depending on how you handle your trash, you can. We do have a dumpster, but you throw your stuff in the dumpster, and others throw their trash on top of yours, and we get ours emptied twice a week. So it's harder to see what you get if you get something big and new and a box, because you can break your box down or you stuff smaller boxes inside of bigger ones, and you're making only 1 or 2 trips. I did that, when I was in Pat moved here.
Yes. So it's a way to camouflage what you're throwing out.
So it can be, yeah.
Okay.
Another way is when I go shopping, I am using a suitcase.
Uncle Al's
And,
trick, the suitcase.
Started doing that after a cart broke. Thanks. Yeah, I stole it. Sorry, Al.
It's all right.
When I had to
Yeah,
go
that's
to the
what
laundromat, I did the same thing. I used a suitcase to throw in the laundry.
Right. Like I said, folks, a suitcase have wheels and you can pull it along with you. It's a lot easier, like Kaylin says, and nobody knows what you got in the suitcase.
All right. I just spotted something. I want to see what the comment was. I'm looking back at the comments here. Yeah. All right. So I guess Matthew was saying he gets a gallon of water from the store for under $1. That's about what I buy the distilled water for my humidifier, and it's about $1 depending. Sometimes I get it for less. Sometimes it's a little bit more depending where I get it from.
Right.
And Prep Study with Belinda says she has a burn pile for getting rid. So she's out where she's on property where she doesn't have to worry about people seeing what she throws away.
I have a shredder.
Yeah.
I picked it up from when I was living in an apartment. Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't know this term. It's called a bed sit. We're talking about tiny. How tiny is this place? No closet. You have enough room for the bed and something to sit on. And you have the kitchenette. I mean, it's not even full kitchen. There's no cabinets. And then you have the toilet. No shower. No wash basin. Just the toilet. That's a bed sit, folks. How small is it?
Really
My
small.
van is bigger than the apartment building. And that was the apartment building I got mugged by 2 African-American gentlemen when they kicked down my door and beat the living poo out of me because I was on the toilet at the time. It's a little hard to defend yourself when you're sitting down doing your business. Sorry about that, Kaylin.
Yeah. Now, there's been 2 comments here in the side chat, which just made me think of something that I keep on forgetting to tell people about. Ginger Ninja, I'm going to put her comment up here. If you have wet batteries, lead acid batteries, you need to fill them back up. You need distilled water, not just regular water. You need it without all the minerals and stuff in it. And Matthew makes a good point here. Luckily, I don't have to worry about putting water into my CPAP, but a lot of people need the extra moisture in their CPAPs to keep them getting all dried and everything. And Yeah, you really need to still water in a CPAP when you're using water in it. So good. There's a point here that Aiden Air made. He uses the space under his bed, stuffing it with supplies and stuff. Between the last time I was in California and the time where I just went just now, the bed we brought our huge king size California king bed up here to Idaho, and my wife got a small queen because she's down there most of the time by herself, except when I visit for a week or so. And so we got her a queen bed, but it was so low she couldn't stick hardly anything under it. So she got some of our the extra pavers we had when we redid the patio, and she put the bed up on it so she can actually stuff stuff under there to store it. And that was the comment here that Aiden Neer put out there reminded me. Before I got married, I had a female friend who was not my female friend. She was a friend of mine, but we were she was always coming over with him to my house and stuff. And she had her own apartment, and she was trying to figure out she was into prepping too, which surprised me at the time. And she didn't have much space, and she's wanted to do something with the bed, and we were talking and stuff. And what she did is she went over to Costco, and they had these wooden cabinet things that she turned on the side and put them back to back. And it raised it up like a high pedestal bed, but it had all these cubbies on it. And that's what she used for under her mattress. She didn't have a bed frame or anything. She just put the mattress right on top of it.
Froze.
And I froze. And she loaded all the cubby, they had those pull out semi-cloth collapsible things out of there, and she loaded that with all her preps and stuff. And the space between the two that she needed a little bit, she put a board on top or something. But she loaded that up with the 5-gallon jerry cans of water. And so if you're inventive with what you're doing, there's a lot of things you can do, not only just in an apartment, but if you want to do it in your regular home as well, to store more stuff. One of the things that a friend of mine, she and her husband did, they got rid of all the little end tables in their house, and they got these 25 and 30 and 35 gallon barrels, and got cut plywood to go on top of the same size of it. And they filled full of water, put it in the house, put the plywood over it, put a tablecloth over it, and put a lamp on it.
You could also do it with the blue block things.
Yeah.
We showed that.
Yeah, those blocks and stuff that like Tasha was talking about. But this was before they started making those. This was 35 years ago. What was that? Oh, yeah, ammo boxes too. And they've made furniture out of food storage. The coffee table was all boxes that held for beans. Cool. They took those cases of number 10 cans, 6 cans to a case, and they built a coffee table out of those, and then put a tablecloth over that. So their coffee table sitting out there in front of the couch was food storage, long-term food storage. And so I know there are a lot more things you can do. I can't say ammo cans, the little storage totes and stuff. My son-in-law is working for a company, and they get product in these big, almost like a suitcase. It's I'm going to try to get one. I'll show it on a video here later, but it's probably about that wide and about that long and about that tall. It has a handle on it, and they get product for testing at the lab in it, and they just throw these things away. Well, he asked if he could start taking them home, and so he's bringing home those now all the time. And any sort of type of container you can get is something you can put food in. It's even if it's boxes of macaroni and cheese, hamburger help, whatever, to keep in case, so you don't wind up like Koopel's cat and get rodents in your stuff.
Yeah, everybody go see that video.
Yes, that was funny. But you can stack that around and use it for, end table. A couple of them, stack them up, 2 or 3 of them, and you got an end table. Stacks them up, you got a coffee table. There's a lot of different ways you can use your food preps to act as, quote, furniture, so it's semi-camouflaged. Anybody comes over really doesn't realize what it is unless they get nosy and lifts up the tablecloth to look underneath, see what it is. Right. But
another simple water solution, I tell everybody, Keelan can't do it because you need lifting power. Oh, those work too.
Yes. And you can actually get those at thrift shops for $1.
That's what this came from. Store.
And in garage sales, you would not believe the containers that people are 50 cents, $1, just trying to get rid of stuff at garage sales.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of things at garage sales and thrift stores. Just keep an open eye. Now, 2 things I have to tell on from a garage sale. I got that one too.
The bags, yes. Those soft bags, you can stock stuff up, just stack those up too.
You could get this. I've got mine at a garage sale. It's a water dispenser, ceramic water dispenser. You can put either a 2.5 gallon jug on top of it or the 5 gallon jug on it. And there you go. You can pick up these jugs over at Lowe's or Home Depot. How much did they cost last time, Gil? Empty.
Generally, they don't like to give them away because they're recycling them. I know. My son went and bought a bunch of them pre-filled with water. I'm not sure how much he paid for them, but I was getting the 5 gallon ones for $3 at Walmart. And they were just made to go on. It has a special punch hole lid on it, though. It has a little plug in there. You just put it on. As the thing has a little spigot, so it just goes ka-tunk, and it does it. But I was getting those for $3 at Walmart.
Some of those models.
And we actually refilled a bunch of them. And so long as we kept
some of those dispenser models, not solid bases, if they're on a pedestal stand, space under, you can store underneath.
Okay. If it's on a stand, you can put stuff underneath it. Okay. Idaho Garden Girl says about $5 for the 5 gallon jugs at Winco. And those jugs are actually a lot stronger. What was that, Kaylin?
I think she's froze.
I think she froze, yeah. I'm not sure. Oh, we lost her.
Right. Sorry about that, Kaylin.
But
there
she's
goes.
back.
Some of those sensors that you put the jugs in, they don't have a solid base. They may be on a pedestal that just has legs.
Right. You could look for one on Amazon or from eBay that has a solid base, but that's extra.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Like Kaylin says, some of them are not stable, the ceramic ones, and they do need support stands for them if you use the heavier weight. I have a table model.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
The table models don't need the brace support, but the heavier 5 gallon one, ceramic, does. And that's the stabilized the ceramic dispenser. It's not electrical, it just runs on gravity.
Yeah.
And what Gil said earlier.
Yeah. I know at work we went and we didn't want one of the ones that just gave out water, and so everyone in the office, chipped in. We bought our own, and we told everyone else to keep the grubby mitts off of it. We went from Home Depot when it was on sale. We picked up one for $129 that gave hot and cold water out of it, and it had an empty space underneath for a second bottle to be stored. So we'd have the one that was in it and the one under it that was stored. But that's those are different options you use for your emergency water supply. But when I took some of the bottles from Walmart, the house I have in California has a filtration system I put on it. It has two big old monster filters on it, and then a sediment filter in front of that. And so I was refilling the water there, and so long as the bottles were kept out of the light, one of the girls in the office made covers for them and cover them up. They would go like months without having to worry about anything growing in them because they weren't sterile. They weren't, quote, sterilized fill. They were, I was filling them for use, and some of the other people started bringing water bottles, and also we had all this water there, and we probably had about 3 weeks worth of water for the office stored there to use.
Right.
But so long as you keep them covered where the light can't get to them, they're good.
Jay made a pretty good comment on the Tupperware. Rodents do chew through Tupperware.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful on the containers. I found you can order this from Amazon, also from Walmart and Sam's Clubs. They will deliver to your house, but it's expensive. Okay. On Amazon, they have a sale for the Gamma 2 lid for pet food containers. That's got the little triangle for food grade. That's human and pets. The 40-pounder is $29.99. Okay. That's the Gamma 2 Pet Seal pet food storage container. The 25-pound one, it's easier for Kaylin. It's $20.95, not including shipping and handling from Amazon. These are on sale. Usually they're about $40 to $69. They ain't cheap, folks. They have the Gamma Seal container on top. Hey, Dave.
Okay. Get Charles down okay, Dave?
I had to beat him down, put a brick on his forehead, and bucket of ice water, but we got him. Good evening, Miss Kaylin. How are you?
And folks, those are rat proof.
Yeah.
Because I have one outside in my garage for my sister's dog.
Yeah. The actually those I guess they're kind of a fiberglass resin, not really a plastic one.
True.
Yeah. And those will stack. I've seen some of those that'll stack up. You can stack them all with a ceiling. It's a little,
right.
You want to keep the heavy stuff at the bottom and the light stuff up on top. But I've seen them where they're besides the Gamma lid, some of them just have a flip open top for stuff like you put boxes of stuff in there that you want to get to. Those tend to be a little more expensive than the other things. One of the things I noticed, though, that is interesting, if you have space, every now and then I've seen 55-gallon barrels with a removable whole lid with a lock on it for free.
Right,
and
we're talking the plastic one, not the metal ones.
No, I'm talking the metal one.
Where?
They just see them around on Craigslist and stuff, and people trying to get rid of them on what's that? There's like a free trader app that for the different areas and stuff. And what's interesting is if you have room, you get one of those and you fill it full of all your grains and stuff. The rats ain't going to chew through that, and you put a sheet over the top of it and use it like a lamp table or whatever.
Right, but folks, be careful with metal ones because you don't know where that came from, and it could be, well, we had some diesel fuels, some pesticides, and I think a
Yeah.
shortage of bleach.
Most
No.
most of these come from processing places. So when you get them, you open them up, and it's like you can see there's the powder for the brewers,
Right.
the hops and stuff is in there, and it's just you wash it out and it's clean. And you look at the label on it. Some say hops, sometimes it says this, but most of the ones they're giving away for free out there are from these places where they use it once and they get rid of it because it's a shipping container for them.
Right. For me, I have to be careful because I live in an agricultural area.
Yeah.
Every container that had pesticides, my policy, I'm not recycling it. I'm crushing it with our bulldozer because I don't want some dumb fool, unless they want to make a burner barrel out of it. It gets crushed.
Yeah. So, Dave,
What?
now we're going to pick on you.
No, you ain't.
When you were in the apartment,
Uh-huh.
what was the hardest part of prepping and the easiest part of prepping in an apartment?
Both were the same thing. Storage.
Storage.
There was literally, in my bedroom in my old apartment, there was a path to my bed, and that was it. Because I had food stored, I had other gear supplied stored in there. And I had to store it in such a way that it wasn't near my kid because I didn't want him getting into it. Now my bedroom's so small, I have to walk outside to change my mind.
So, what were some of the novel ideas you came up with for storing some of that food? I know you said people are giving you a lot of stuff.
Free market.
What was that, Kaylin?
You broke up, Kaylin. Some novel ideas I had was building hidey holes inside the walls.
Ooh.
You know, those little hidden secret closets you can build if you know how to do woodwork and drywall work.
So, was there any problem with that, or?
I don't know. Nobody found them. And I covered them back up before I left. So they still don't know that they were there. So I don't see any problem with it.
Okay.
It just takes a little bit of ingenuity, figuring out your decor. You've seen people make hidden gun cabinets and walls. You can do the same with your preps. If you've got freedom seeds or other stuff that you don't want readily seen, you can take and find a nice blank spot on your wall, get yourself a floor-to-ceiling mirror that's like 2 foot wide, and you can build yourself a hidden spot behind it in the wall where you've got anywhere from, depending on the age of the house, between 2.5 to 4 inches depth, floor to ceiling. You can hide a lot of stuff in there.
Industrial food production.
I didn't catch any of that. Anybody else?
I got part of it, but I can't make sure. Gil? I think Gil's frozen.
Yep. I think he froze too. We lost him, folks.
Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened, but on my end, everybody froze and everybody went to black circles.
That was your YouTube checking you out.
Okay. All right.
So apparently somebody said a no word somewhere.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. I'm still on probation. I can't be good. I can't be naughty again until at least the 15th of November.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess there was not sure what's happening. Oh, Howie's in the house.
Hey, Howie.
Yeah.
I think she was trying to say something about food production.
Yeah.
And for me, that wasn't an option. Where I was at, I had no place to where I could put any kind of garden. The property management facility would not allow it. And if I did try to sneak something in like a window box, the local kids would have tore it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Here where I'm at right now, the ground, I would have to plant sunflowers for the next 5 years after doing a soil test because, well, there's a lot of stuff in the ground here. So I would have to plant fields of sunflowers to pull the metals and stuff out of the ground before I could attempt to actually grow food in it unless I build raised hugelkultur beds.
Wow.
And they would actually have to be separated from the actual soil that's here because it would leach the metals and everything else in.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what happens, Bruce. You go to get coffee, you get that lifeblood, you come back, and everything goes to pot.
And that's
Right.
the problem. Bruce left on us and took away our luck.
Like Kaylin said earlier, she uses a suitcase. She could use a suitcase to store food away. You could buy a metal from Home Depot or Lowe's or from a thrift store of a small cupboard, like P2E says, or a wardrobe or a metal closet. You could store 30 days of food in one of those things, push it against the wall, and it looks like a piece of furniture. You could put it next to a refrigerator. Nobody notices those.
Yeah, Albany Mountain
There-
says wall storage in many cases will be very shallow. Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
only, your walls are only
Right. You know,
3
but
and a
like
half
I
inches
said,
thick.
well, it depends on the home. The walls here are 4.5 inches thick.
Mm.
So if I were to put one in here, I'd have 4.5 inches of space. That's counting. I'd have to take out the slat board that's behind the horsehair here.
Yeah.
So I'd actually have a little bit more space than somebody like you, Gil, where your manufactured home is using 3.25 inch 2x4s instead of 4 inch.
Yeah.
So you have less space. But floor to ceiling or whatever size mirror you get, you can still store quite a bit of stuff in there. You have to be creative about it. But if you have like 4 or 5 of those in your home, and obviously you don't want to make it look too obvious,
Mhm.
but if you have 4 or 5 of those in your home, you can store all kinds of extra stuff in there. Okay. You can put false bottoms inside drawers. If you got a big old chest of drawers in your bedroom with them really, deep drawers, you can take and put a piece of wood in there, open up 2.5 inches at the bottom of it, make it look like it's normal. And now you got another, 70 square inches of storage.
Mhm.
Right?
Al,
What?
okay, you were acting like you were frozen there for a second.
No, I'm sorry.
And I don't know. Am I getting all choppy too?
No.
Okay. Because when Dave was talking, he was really choppy. It looks like he's frozen now.
That's your internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is YouTube checking up on you.
Now
Remember-
it may just be the wind blowing out here on that little dish, and it's trying to compensate.
Hey, remember a couple of weeks ago when we had my live stream and
I
mine
didn't
kept
say
breaking
anything. I
up?
typed up my cat Mila. I did not say anything.
Remember when mine kept breaking up?
My cat is
And
at my
then-
feet.
Yep. I heard that.
Okay.
Cat's at her feet, and
Mhm.
she's trying to talk, but it's kind of breaking up. But that's okay. I can understand you. Hi, CR. Folks, on food storage, you could use a food cup orb or a suitcase like Kaylin does. Another trick I tell people on cooking and stuff to save space is a small single burner butane stove, or like Gil showed it. Remember, Gil, we showed that propane, that little thing, the green one with the whatchamacallit, you had it in one of your either videos or live stream.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The single burner.
Right.
Yeah. The camp burner.
All right. Those are easy to do when you're doing food. Another trick I tell people, have a big size thermos. And people look at me, why do you need a thermos? To store hot water, because you can make coffee, instant soups, oatmeal. I know a few tricks. You could cook things in the thermos if you get the right one. And I'm doing a whole video on apartment and urban living, prepping supplies. One of my really big secrets, folks, that I don't tell anybody. If you live in a big city, what does a big city has that your apartment doesn't have? You see, everybody draws a blank. Storage spaces. Some of them have climate control storage units that you could put stuff in there on pallets, like food, water, and you can store it away. It's a simple, dirty urban trick. And
All
not
right.
the outside
Oh,
kind of
He might be
storage.
having issues.
What kind of issues, Kaylin?
Okay, these are the little hidey holes. But something like this you can build yourself. So what you do is in this situation, you build a shelving unit on the outside of your wall. You recess it 0, but you want to make it
I
look.
cannot see him.
But you set it up so it hinges and you've got storage space behind it. Or, and like this one here, you build a closet and it leads into an interior room. Of course, this would be something you would do like in your basement, and you put a little, room on the other side of a wall. It can be done. It's just time consuming and a little expensive.
You have to be careful.
Or you could build shelves on existing doors, like the bathroom door, the bedroom door.
Mm-hmm.
Build some shelves on them. Do the same thing.
Right, but when you do that, folks, make sure you change the hinge screws to 3 inches. The regular standard screws will not hold. And Emma, you can't use a Kelly kettle inside of an apartment because it burns twigs and leaves and stuff. I don't think the landlord would be too happy about that.
Where did she put?
That's good for outside use.
Well, thanks. If you have a balcony, you could do the Kelly kettle on the balcony.
But make sure it's on a fireproof stuff. Do not burn that stuff on a wood balcony.
Yeah.
You would not believe how many people set fires through the building.
Best way to do it, if you're going to use something like a Kelly kettle, where you have to have an open fire below it, or you're going to use like a small rocket stove that they sell for next to nothing. Even the titanium ones aren't that bad nowadays. Is take a cookie sheet and turn it upside down and put it down. That way it creates a 1-inch barrier between the heat and the floor below, whatever flooring is below it. And a cookie sheet's large enough where, it's going to get hot, but you take a far less chance of setting the stuff below it on fire because it's not going to get as hot.
Yeah. What also works good for that, Dave, if you take your standard cake pan, turn it upside down.
That's what I just said.
And then put a cookie sheet underneath that.
You could do that as well, yes.
That gives you an extra. Gives you double thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said,
or take 2 bread pans and put them side by side.
Yeah, like I said, folks, you can find a lot of spaces in urban areas. It's really easy to get a storage unit. The cheapest one is 8x10. That's bigger than most apartments. But you can put your stuff in there, and it's climate controlled in some major cities.
Tasha, she's on her phone.
Yep.
And so that may be part of the problem.
Has those shoe organizers that hang over the door, and she puts small food packets in those for some of her storage.
Yeah, we've discussed that on a previous live stream, taking those shoe racks that you hang on doors, and you can use those to store food in. Welcome back, Howie.
Okay, so I want to ask everybody out there in the side chat for what can you think of for apartment dwellers? What else,
There's now I can see.
I forgot a word on it. What else can you store things in? So, okay. Emma says shoe boxes and shoe holder, shoe boxes, I guess. There's having, like I say, having not been in the mindset when I was in an apartment for prepping, because I was only there for a couple months, and I moved to the next apartment, then I moved to the next apartment while I was on my mission. I never thought I was in the mindset of figuring out, ways to store stuff in an apartment, and not being in an apartment. When I was in that mindset, I'm not a subject matter expert at this. I just,
Yes, Jay.
read stuff and got that stuff.
Here's one of those things we were just talking about, Gil.
Yeah.
Writer Dust brings up a good subject.
Okay. Kellyanne Princess has an idea there.
Mm-hmm.
And make a headboard for the bed with storage in it.
Correct.
And sometimes you can pick those up for free. There was one that was just on, that my wife saw on an app for a queen size bed, big old headboard setup that was just loaded with shelves and stuff.
Right. Folks, what's the popular sit down thing back in the hippie days? A
Ottoman.
bean bag.
Oh, yeah.
Why isn't that?
You could use a real bean bag. What was it? Yeah, soda crates will work too.
Okay, hang on. My thing's acting up here. Trying to show this. There we go. Got it.
Also, milk crates work too. And like I said, folks, bean bags, take out the white plastic stuff, fill it up with pinto beans. In old Japan, we used to fill black beans into pillows. That's how my family survived World War II, because they stuffed all their pillows with beans and rice. Everybody else starved in the city. We didn't. We had food. Also, really comfortable pillows. A lot easier than a feather pillow because it's full of beans or rice.
Okay, we're getting a lot of ideas here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Susan, as soon as he looks down there, as soon as he looks down here at the bottom of his little box, you'll see I actually have one of those pulled up. There he is.
Is it going to show?
One of these right here. Yeah,
There
it's
it
showing
goes.
now.
Okay.
Right. In what old live stream we showed that restaurant supply cart,
Did I get interrupted?
stainless steel. What, Kaylin?
And they make
Yeah.
other ones too, like this one here. That could be used for larger stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, my internet on my end must be getting really bad with the wind out here.
Right.
It's taking a long time for when I click on something for it to change.
You might get snow tonight.
No. We're not getting snow for the next 2 weeks. It's hot.
I'm placing bets from Montana. Froze.
Yeah, now you're freezing.
Froze. Did I froze?
You froze.
That one looks like you did Kansas.
All right. Well, we're getting to the near to the top of the hour here, and I'm not sure what's going to go happening here coming up on Friday. Let's see what I got. I have on my live stream for Friday not here on GrayMan. Frozen again. On my Camppatton family compound, the topic for the Friday night on the homestead is items you still need to get before winter, and that has to do with just items for yourself, and if you happen to have animals or whatever, items for them for the winter. And next Tuesday, we're going to talk about vehicle kits and things we need for vehicle kits. I'm not sure. Bruce, are you still out there? Backwoods Law. Are you going to come on
Friday night?
On Friday night? Any of you are? Do you have a topic already for Friday night? Or did he go get another cup of coffee?
I think he went to get a cup of coffee.
No, he's here.
Oh, he is?
He's here,
Yep.
yeah.
Mouse and Tasha are talking hurricane preparedness tomorrow night over on Prep For It.
Oh, what time is that again? Eastern
8:30?
time. 8:30 Eastern. 8:30 Eastern.
Yes, Bruce, before he does. So it'd be,
Yeah.
9 o'clock our time.
I want to make sure everyone knows that everything's coming up here. All the neat things coming up, live streams.
8 Eastern, I'm sorry. Tasha's at 8 Eastern. That's right.
8 Eastern. Okay, 8 Eastern for Tasha at Prep For It. Going to be talking about hurricane preparedness tomorrow night.
Well, and just in case people, get, hurricane, I don't have hurricanes in my areas, but you do have high winds.
Mm-hmm.
You have other weather-related adventures that can cause similar problems. Like ice storms will cause loss of power. So, something I've stated for the last several years is you start off when you prep for a basic subject. And when you get done prepping for a basic for where you're at, if you start looking off at these other areas, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, ice storms, whatever, you'll see that 78 to 80% of what you stored already or done already actually applies to those very same things in other areas of the country as well. So just because somebody's, we're going to talk about hurricanes, it still pertains to where you're at, because there are certain bits and pieces of a hurricane that can cause loss of power, can cause flooding. Hurricanes produce tornadoes. So there's all kinds of things that can happen in your area. So don't get turned off when somebody says, we're talking about earthquakes or hurricanes or tornadoes or floods, because everybody does get bits and pieces of that where they live. Now, you might not get, there are certain areas of the country that rarely ever see tornadoes, but they can get flooding.
Yep.
So both parts of that are from a hurricane. So you'll always pick up bits and pieces from every area of the nation that can help you stay prepared. If you prepare for most everything, you will be prepared for most anything. Quote me.
All right. Ryder Dust. I was at Sam's Club last week, and Sam's Club had the same problem. They just finally got a load in of the TP and PT, and they're going only one package per person. And I asked somebody what's going on. And they goes, we're running short on drivers.
Well, that and Kimberly Clark isn't producing as much because they don't have as many employees working right now.
Right.
Yeah. So Bruce said he's going to be, I'll put it back up here again. He's going to do something on the solar ammo can thing he did, and he's going to discuss that.
Folks, I'm going to be doing
like you're saying, people that say, we don't get hit by hurricanes. This last one, Ida, after it went through and got into the land area in Tennessee and everything else, it was a rainstorm.
Torrential flooded areas very, very badly. Unfortunately, there was quite a bit of loss of life.
Right. Like New Jersey.
Yep.
And in New Jersey and New York, yeah.
Now.
Yeah, we actually had part of a hurricane.
Hard with that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, folks, I'm going to be doing the Survival Run series. What we covered tonight is going to be all in my prepping supply stuff. There's things I haven't told on this hour that I will tell you throughout the series. So if you do live in an apartment, I tell everybody you should have an evacuation bag for 2 reasons. You don't want to be that apartment in, Philadelphia, Dave? That got hit by that strong wind and the building kind of complete,
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah. Buildings do not stand well in high winds, especially when it's 104 miles an hour. And if you're one of those shaky old apartments, I would not be living there.
Hey, State Gardener, here's a prediction for you. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, folks. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. My mom's screaming on the phone again. except
All
there's
right.
nobody
See ya.
plugged in. Bye.
Okay. Question, am I traveling tomorrow? No, I traveled Monday, yesterday. Drove back here from Idaho, from California to Idaho yesterday because I had everything done that I could do there. And so we loaded up. I had tons of stuff packed up in those 27-gallon totes and just loaded the truck up. And I came back yesterday. So I'm probably going to be going back in a couple weeks for another quick load and another one before the snow hits. And so probably going about the 10th or so of October, maybe. Not sure. But anyways, yeah, so I'm back in Idaho. I got my green screen working here. So
Sort of. As long as you
sort of.
don't move too much. Oh, there it went Cookie again.
Yeah.
That made your hand
So-
look great.
Yeah. Well, I can really screw it up here. Oh, I'm fading out.
Bye.
Oh, wait.
So,
Tasha asked you a question.
did I want to come
I-
on the show tomorrow with you? Sure.
I didn't even rate a hello on that one. I'll go hide in my corner tomorrow.
Sure, Tasha. I would love to come up there tomorrow. So, yeah, just make sure you send me the link about at least a half an hour beforehand. And,
Awesome, Hedgehog.
yeah. All righty. So yeah, we're over now. So we're going to wrap this up here now with some simple things. Stay happy no matter what life throws at you, because it's not worth getting like I did at Hoople's cat. It took me a couple days to calm down from that one. Stay safe. Don't do anything foolish and stupid. And most of all, keep on prepping. Yeah. And we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow night on Tasha. That's Prep For It. We'll see you tomorrow night there. All right, everyone.